I feel like we're in this weird in-between state for cozy games right now. We've had a jam-packed September and we already know November is also going to be rammed full of cozy games. But what do we play right this second? Don't worry, there is an awesome sale on right now filled with cozy games for a huge price range. We have games ranging from £25 all the way down to £2. And of course, there's some games in here which I have never mentioned on this channel that you definitely need to check out. First up, for £24.99 and 30% off is YouTuber's Life 2. This is one of those guilty pleasure games of mine that I've been playing behind the scenes, but I haven't really mentioned much on my channel. This game lets you live out your wildest dreams, for I became a YouTuber/streamer who focused on cozy games. I'm not even kidding, they have a fake Nintendo console where you could play fake Animal Crossing on it, and I became famous from streaming and playing that in the game. Wonderful, isn't it? It's basically a life sim focused about you trying to become the biggest and the best content creator there is. And if that isn't enough motive to play the game, there's also a completely wacky story alongside of it. I'm not kidding, I think I battled off a wormhole whilst vlogging the entire thing. The game sees you move to a town filled with other content creators, and you are in charge of absolutely everything to do with your life. You've got to film videos, edit them, buy equipment, save up for new houses and new filming locations, and of course make sure that you're fed. There's even a fake Instagram app that you use to gain fame. And when there's a new console release, you need to run to the shops ASAP and make as many videos about it as humanly possible. The video process is pretty fun in itself and is kind of like a skill you've got to hone over time. And by buying new equipment for your filming and your editing, it makes the whole process easier and you're more likely to score a higher score. You can even go to big events and conventions where you can get exclusive hands-on experience with new games and consoles, but only if you're famous enough. And every morning you wake up to new trends for the day and it's up to you to pump out as much content as possible around those trends. And some days you wake up to finding that there is a famous YouTuber in the town, and if you carry out all their mini quests, you get to make a video with them at the end of the day. I can't fully figure out why this is a game I enjoy so much, but I think it's because it's a life sim like no other. And you literally have no idea what each day has in store in the game. Every day is a surprise. My only criticism is that there's some very long loading screen times, and each day feels a little short, especially when you get some weird side quests from the YouTubers that you honestly need to just Google if you want to stand a chance of finishing them in time. Next up, for just over £20 and 20% off, is Cult of the Lamb. Another absolutely fantastic game that I've put many hours into. And although it suffered some serious performance issues on launch, it does seem to be a lot better now they've patched it. This is basically a cult simulator and dungeon crawler all in one. And don't worry if the dungeon crawling part isn't really for you. You can change the difficulty all the way down to make the dungeon crawling not too difficult and just kind of enjoy the cult part. The whole purpose of the game is you are trying to become the one true cult. And not only do you do that by finding new cult members for your cult, but also by destroying all the non-believers. And when you're not out there kicking butt finding new people to indoctrinate, you need to look after your cult. This is the part I personally adore about the game. This means you have to make food for them, which you do by setting up little farms that they tend to themselves. You build them beds to sleep in. You decorate, as there's a ton of decorations you unlock as the game progresses. And you can even do stuff like fishing to make sure you've got enough food. Oh, and you also clean up their poop. But it's all worth it as the followers are absolutely adorable. The cult dailies can take a lot of time, especially if you have a lot of followers. But I really didn't mind as this was genuinely my favorite part. You can also assign the followers jobs, and all you need to do is make sure they all live a long and happy life. And if they misbehave, you can just throw them in the jail. The best thing about the followers though are just how cute they are. And when you indoctrinate them, you can even change their animal type and their names to make it feel even more personal. Now, to make sure your cult is actually a cult, you need to run rituals and sermons. These kind of make sure that your followers remain loyal to you and your cult, and they also serve to give you perks when you're in battle as well. Right now, there's also a Halloween event going on. This is a limited time event where you can get new follower forms, new rituals, new decorations, and even new music. And if they carry this on for every season, I can definitely see myself coming back to the game. Next up is a game that only just came out. It's 10% off and just under £8. And that's Paradise Marsh. I think this game went on sale the moment it hit the eShop, and it's just coming to the end of the sale right now. This is a story-rich adventure that takes place in the marshlands, and it's procedurally generated, meaning that no two playthroughs will ever be the same. Your journey involves gathering mysterious notes scattered around the land. You can catch bugs, frogs, pick wildflowers, eat mushrooms, and skip stones at the lakes. And the best part of all of this is that everything can be done at your own pace. There's no minimap, no time limits, and no quest markers. You just enjoy the journey it takes you on. Next is a cozy game I somehow haven't covered on the channel, which I don't know how because it seems literally perfect. It is 89% off at £1.99, and that is Jenny LeClue Detectiv. This game sees you play as Jenny, a young detective whose mother has just been accused of murder. So you embark on a journey to try and find out the truth. You battle unforeseen forces, solve puzzles, and use the power of deduction in this thrilling mystery to try and clear your mother's name. This game is filled with dialogue decisions that let you control the narrative of the game, and you'll be glad to know that this is the Spoken Secrets edition, meaning that all 8+ hours of gameplay is fully voice acted, which is absolutely perfect for this type of game. I think this is probably one of my top sale picks, and I'm honestly so surprised that it's reduced down to this price. Next, just under £28 and 20% off is 2 Point Campus. I'm a little biased as I am such a lover of the 2 Point franchise. I will kind of preface this with, although the controls are well done, they're well done for a controller. So they're always going to feel just a little bit awkward and definitely not as good as it would feel with a keyboard and mouse. So just something to bear in mind when thinking about buying this game. In 2 Point Campus, you guessed it, you run a university. You do absolutely everything. You hire the staff, you build the dorm rooms, the lecture theatres, and the science labs. Much like 2 Point Hospital, each level is designed so that it gradually teaches you new things within the game, making it challenging enough to keep you engaged, but not so challenging that you just want to give up. But oh man, getting 3 stars on some of these levels is so hard. And of course, as this is a 2 Point game, the humor is absolutely on point. It's one of those games where you sit down to start playing it, you blink, and you've lost like 3 hours of your life, and it feels like no time at all. Next, for 80% off at £1.99 is Dadish 3. If you're in need of a cute and witty platformer, then look no further than this game. Literally, your ex-wife is a tomato. It's great. The entire game is based off of retro platformers and has 50 levels, 5 boss battles, and a great soundtrack to go along with it. In this game, you need to save your baby radishes, avoid murderous ice creams and angry bread, and try and find all of the unlockable secrets. And it looks to be a fun game, especially for this price. Next, at 87% off, £1.85 is Cattails. Now I'm gonna level with you, I didn't actually know this game existed till people in my stream started talking about it. But it's being described as Stardew Valley, but with cats. Bet that piqued your interest, didn't it? I personally think the Stardew similarities are loose, but we'll roll with it. You play as a lost house cat who finds their way into a forest, where you're forced to pick a colony of cats to join, and you spend your day just being a cat. You explore, you get into cat fights with other colonies, you hunt for food, and yeah, you can even romance with other cats and have kittens. Much like Stardew, there is a story, but how much of that you follow is completely up to you. The game even has puzzle elements, kind of like the shrines in Breath of the Wild, but with a lot less pizzazz. And although the controls aren't maybe the best optimized for the Switch, for the price, it's a pretty good experience. Next, for just under £8 and 60% off is Spirit of the North. I kind of had to include one cozy game where you played as a fox, right? This game has no story told with words, but more of a journey, with a large focus on Nordic folklore. The gameplay is focused on you being a fox who can call upon a spirit to help guide them through the world, with platforming and puzzle solving being the main way you gain access to new areas. And as you progress further, the fox unlocks new spirit powers that add to the puzzles as you progress, making them gradually more complex. This is definitely not the longest game, but it definitely is a beautiful one. And finally, we have our wild card game of the day because it definitely smears the line between cozy and not cozy, and this is Death's Door. It's currently on sale for 50% off and just under £9. This sees you play as a crow in charge of reaping the souls of the dead. But one day the soul you were assigned to get is stolen, and you need to track it down. Honestly, it was the art style that really piqued my interest in this game initially. It truly is beautiful. And although there is a story to this game, the main focus is mainly on the buttery smooth combat and the kind of Zelda-like puzzle dungeons. And although this type of action game is not everyone's type of cozy, this fast-paced combat along with its beautifully designed world with plenty of secrets might just be perfect for some of you. Those are my November top picks, but if you want to see why November is so jam-packed full of cozy games, click here. I'll see you next time. Bye.